Today, God has brought an end to injustice, oppression. What is important is that every Nigerian must consider issue of security as his personal business.
We disagree with the judgment vehemently.
Completely.
Yes.
And we are going to fight it from here onwards until justice is done.
Court sentences Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment over terrorism charges. APC governors vow to secure release of abducted Kebbi schoolgirls.
I urge you, therefore, my colleagues, to reflect accurately, to also report, and not to say things that are sensational.
Also tonight, always champion truth over falsehood. Information Minister Idris tells broadcasters. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jumma Yusuf. Tonight we'll be bringing you some of the latest news from across the country. And Benny Adams is here in our Abuja studio for the business news. And Francisco Bele will bring you some of the exciting news in the world of sports. Remember, you can watch the live stream of this newscast on our various handles on social media. You can also catch a playback of this broadcast on our YouTube channel and other social media platforms displayed on the screen. Now to our survey for tonight. How can the Safe School initiative be improved to protect schools from attacks and abductions? 1. Relocation of high-risk schools. 2. Inclusion of traditional leaders, community and PTA in school safety. And 3. Deployment of special vigilante security to protect schools. 4. Fortify security at high-risk schools, fencing, alarms, CCTV, etc. Let's get your views. We'll be able to read them at the end of the news. Now, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has been convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment for engaging in acts of terrorism. Justice James Omotosho gave the verdict in the absence of the convict, who was led out of court for disrupting proceedings through his unruly behavior. Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyebe reports.
The court found Nnamdi Kanu guilty, convicts and sentenced him to life imprisonment on count 1, 2, 4 and 5 of the 7 counts bordering on acts of terrorism punishable under the Terrorism Prohibition and Prevention Act of 2022 as amended. Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to 20 and 5 years without fine in other counts. The court ordered that he should be kept in a safe correctional center in any part of the country, deny access to electronic gadgets, and have his radio transmitter forfeited to the federal government. Relying on the evidence of the prosecution, since the convict failed to enter his defense, the judge said the prosecution has proved that the convict is an international terrorist going by his actions, insightful comments on radio broadcasts, hatred for the Nigerian state, and even the people he claimed to be defending. The court held that his engagement in guerrilla warfare led to the death of several innocent people, including the former special advisor to Goodluck Jonathan, Ahmed Gulag, several security personnel, destruction of more than 160 police stations, 9 INEC offices across the country. The court, chronicling the evidence of the prosecution, held that the video and audio evidence proved that Nnamdi Kanu was not in any way agitating for self-determination, but merely terrorizing people, including the Igbos, having denied them opportunities to carry out their lawful economic activities. Justice Omotosho said he cannot hide under a repeal law and unlawful rendition to evade justice, as the amended Terrorism Act 2022 stipulates that all pending proceedings, punishment under the repeal law may be taken, while the unlawful rendition which the convict laid claim to is of no effect, having been arraigned in a court in Nigeria before he jumped bail and rearrested in Kenya. The court held that Nigeria remains an indivisible entity, hence any section agitating for self-determination must follow the laid-down processes.
Today, God has brought an end to injustice, oppression, suffered by our brothers and sisters of the eastern states of Nigeria. They will not be able to sleep with their 2 eyes closed. What is important is that every Nigerian must consider issue of security as his personal business.
The verdict is not consistent with the evidence laid before the court. The sentence is overbroad, cruel, and unusual. We disagree with the judgment vehemently. Completely. Yes. And we are going to fight it from here onwards until justice is done.
Yes. He said the convict has 90 days from 20th of November 2025 to appeal the judgment. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
Now, in the last 10 years, the trial of Nnamdi Kanu has been on before the judiciary. The delay in the adjudication on this matter was as a result of legal tactics by the defense. Now, to shed more light on this matter, I have with me in the studio Dele Atumbi, who is the head of the NTA Judiciary Desk and who has been following this case and covering it for the past 10 years. Dele Atumbi, you're welcome to Network News. Good to have you.
Thank you, Jume.
Now, in recapping what transpired in court today, can you walk us through what really happened and why was adjudication on this matter sort of delayed?
Well, if you are talking about the delay in adjudication in this matter, we started in 2015 at a magistrate court, later to the Federal High Court here in Abuja. You realize that it is a self-induced delay by the defense itself. And I will tell you this way, that Nigerians should recall that as at today, 4 judicial officers attended to that matter. The first one has to do with Justice Ahmed Mohamed, who recused himself in 2015. In 2016, the present Chief Judge of the Federal High Court recused himself, Justice John Toho, recused himself. And in 2017, it came to the court of Justice Binta Iyako. At every point in time, the first 3 judges were accused by Nnamdi Kanu, the defendant, for the fact that he did not have confidence in them. And if he was saying that he did not have confidence in them, who is the judicial officer that will now try this matter? It was serving this. At a point, under Justice Binta Iyako, they took preliminary issues from the trial court to the Court of Appeal up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court had to render the matter back to the Federal High Court for adjudication. It is self-induced, and the truth of the matter is that nobody can say that at any point in time that the delay was as a result of, no, it was the defense that caused the issue of the delay when it comes to the issue of...
Okay, based on the defense, you know, there was a lot of drama today at the court because Nnamdi Kanu raised his alleged illegal rendition back to Nigeria. Now, what was the opinion of the court on this?
Well, the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, when the matter started this morning, came with 3 motions. And those 3 motions were treated and dismissed. The first one has to do with the jurisdiction of the court. The second one has to do with the fact that he wanted the court to give him additional days for him to be able to file his final written address. Don't forget that in the course of this case, Nnamdi Kanu had sacked 3 legal teams of his own, on his own volition. And he decided to defend himself. There is nothing wrong. He has the constitutional right to defend himself in this matter. And I concede that to him, apparently because he has the constitutional right to fair hearing. And if you are talking about the issue of this alleged illegal rendition, which the court had addressed, you see, if he had decided to defend himself, illegal rendition, as at the time that he jumped bail, has denied him any right of talking about alleged illegal rendition. So, and if you equally realize that at a point he was shouting and that the judge did not, Justice Omotosho did not know law. How would you come in the face of the court and be alleged? Well,
they also said that, you know, fair hearing is a fundamental right. So would you say the defendant in this matter was given a fair hearing, briefly?
I will say authoritatively that it was given fair hearing because for 6 consecutive days, the Justice Omotosho, James Omotosho, was appealing to Nnamdi Kanu to enter his defense, and it was given fair hearing.
Okay, Dela Atumbi, who is the head of the NTA Judicial Redacting, who has been following this case from the very beginning. Thank you so much for giving us an update on what really happened today at the court. We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you, Julian.
And reactions continue to pour in as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has expressed optimism that the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, will be freed through a political approach. The Deputy Speaker stated this in a reaction issued by his Chief Press Secretary after a federal high court in Abuja sentenced Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment. Kalu said all hope is not lost as a political solution is being pursued to ultimately secure the IPOB leader's release. The Deputy Speaker also expressed confidence in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to listen to the pleas of well-meaning Igbo leaders in the matter. He urged the people of the Southeast and indeed all Nigerians to remain calm, reiterating that all hope is not lost. Moving on to other stories, Vice President Kashim Shettima has commended the multi-million-dollar investment portfolio by African agribusiness conglomerate Export Trading Group in Nigeria, assuring that ongoing reforms by the administration of President Tinubu will guarantee the company's investment. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the Vice President said the company's interest across agro-logistics, fertilizer systems, seed production and industrial processing, among others, is commendable and fully aligns with the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu. He stated this when he received on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa, a delegation from the ETG led by its Global Chief Operating Officer, Nigerian Murugan. The Vice President urged the company to explore the abundant opportunities across the country to expand its stakes in the country's agricultural value chain, particularly in boosting food production. ETG's Global Chief Operating Officer Nigerian Murugan said his visit was to inform the Vice President of the country's investment portfolio in Nigeria, seeking high-level alignment to secure government guidance and accelerate coordination with stakeholders in the public sector across all levels. He announced the takeoff of the company's expanded multi-billion-dollar oil processing facility in Shagamu, Ogun State, by the second quarter of 2026, disclosing proposed investment pipelines in fertilizer blending, seed production and integrated agro-logistics, among others. The company also disclosed a collaboration to establish centers of agro-excellence in 7 states of Kaduna, Ebonyi, Cross River, Ekiti, Jigawa, Nasarawa and Borno to serve as regional hubs for the provision of inputs, mechanization, storage and primary processing, among others. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu has asked the Minister of State for Defense, Alhaji Bello Matawali, to relocate to Kebbi State over the abduction of 25 schoolgirls in the state. A statement by Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, says Matawali, who was formerly Governor of Zamfara State, was asked to remain in the state to monitor security efforts to secure the release of the abducted students. Matawali, who is expected to arrive in Birnin Kebbi on Friday, gained some experience in dealing with banditries and mass kidnapping during his tenure as governor of Zamfara State from 2019 to 2023. President Tinubu has also postponed his scheduled trip to Johannesburg, South Africa, and Luanda, Angola, as he awaits further security briefings on the kidnapped Kebbi schoolgirls and the attack on Christ Apostolic Church worshippers in Eruku, Kwara State. And in a strong show of solidarity and national concern, governors from the All Progressives Congress, APC, have visited Kebbi State to sympathize with the government and people over the abduction of students from Government Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga. The delegation, led by the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum and Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, reaffirmed the collective resolve of Nigeria's leaders to ensure the safe rescue of the schoolgirls. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa tells us more.
Dignitaries from all walks of life continue to troop into Kebbi State in sympathy over the abduction of the Maga schoolgirls. This time, it is the APC progressive governors who condemned the act in the strongest terms, describing it as barbaric and a threat to the nation's future. They assured that the APC governors, alongside President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and security agencies, remain fully committed to strengthen national security and ensuring justice.
The governors in his house is the key behind is that president in unity. To do whatever it will take to strengthen security in Nigeria, ensure that our democracy is sustained.
Governor Nasru Idris, while receiving the delegation, described the visit as historic. He expressed confidence in the ongoing effort of security operatives and reaffirmed the state readiness to continue collaborating until the students are safely rescued.
The security agencies are on and doing to ensure that our daughters been released, health, and healthy.
The visit underscores the unity and collective resolve of APC governors in moments of both difficulty and progress. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Mohammed Bawa, NTA News.
And still talking security matters, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum says the worst phase of the Boko Haram insurgency is now behind the state, despite acknowledging a recent upsurge in attacks by the terror groups. He made the remark in Maiduguri during a meeting with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Shuaibu Waidi. Mohammed Goni reports.
The meeting between the Chief of Army Staff and the Borno State Governor revolved around appreciating the continual sacrifices of the Nigerian armed forces to restore peace to the state and the Northeast, with Professor Zulum reflecting on the more escalated security situation the state had previously endured and the feat being recorded so far despite recent setbacks.
I want to assure you that government of Borno State under my distinguished leadership will continue to collaborate and partner with the Nigerian army with a view to ending the crisis in Borno State. And I also want to assure you that the federal government of Nigeria and indeed the subnationals are also working hard to ensure that this madness is brought to an end.
The governor commiserated with the Nigerian army over the recent tactical setbacks across the theater. He praised the sacrifices and bravery of the officers and soldiers, describing them as heroes who, in some cases, pay the ultimate price for the nation's security. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, while giving assurances of the Army headquarters to provide necessary logistics to the troops, also commended Governor Zulum for his support to the armed forces.
We have emphasized to them the essence of mission success and the fact that they must be determined and committed to ensure that they succeed in whatever mission they have been given.
The course added that the military formations have confidence in the society. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
The news will continue right after this break. Do stay. You're watching NTA Network News. Now, the federal government is urging independent broadcasters, editors, producers, and content creators to continue to be indispensable to the task of building a Nigeria where facts prevail over falsehood, citizens are informed rather than misled, and where public trust is strengthened rather than eroded. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, took this message to the 2025 annual conference of the Independent Broadcaster Association of Nigeria, IBAN. Salu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Independent Broadcaster Association of Nigeria is made up of individuals and groups who own television and radio stations in Nigeria. Practitioners on this platform, like in any democratic society, have pledged purposeful practices in shaping the narratives for national cohesion, particularly now that Nigeria's security challenges are attracting global narratives.
The independent broadcast media can significantly impact upon the fight against insecurity and insurgency.
We must display the highest level of responsible journalism broadcasting. Truth, facts, fairness, balance are uncompromised.
If we can defend information sovereignty, nurture national cohesion, and build digital strength, then Nigeria's story, with all its complexities, will be told by Nigerians to Nigerians and to the world with credibility context, and confidence.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation wants IBAN members to adopt innovations and shift attention to sanitize Nigeria media ecosystem through a proposed plan.
I urge you, therefore, my colleagues, to reflect accurately, to also report, and not to say things that are sensational. Invest in newsroom capacity to detect and counter deepfakes, AI-generated misinformation, and online propaganda. As Minister of Information and National Orientation, let me say for the uptenth time, that Nigeria has just won the bid from the global body, UNESCO, to host the first of its kind Media and Information Literacy Institute.
The federal government, he assured, is equal to the task of fulfilling its mandate of securing lives and property.
These successes have weakened the operational capacity of criminal groups, forcing them, regrettably, to resort to attacking soft targets. The recent kidnapping of schoolgirls in Kebbi is one such desperate act. In response, Mr. President has given a direct and uncompromising order to the military high command to leave no stone unturned in rescuing these girls safely and reuniting them with their families.
Like other media associations, here practitioners and the regulators have agreed to uphold the sovereignty of Nigeria above other interests in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news. Through sustained women ICT empowerment, Nigeria is laying a solid foundation for a digital future where women can thrive, innovate and lead. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this at the closing ceremony of the third edition of Renewed Hope Initiative and National Information Technology Development Agency ICT training program for 320 women. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
320 women strong, they formed the third cohort in the series of RHI NITIDA Women ICT Training Program. With the successful completion of their 3 weeks ICT skills acquisition training, they now join the League of Women who are promoting a shift in the digital landscape of the country. While presenting them with their certificates and starter packs, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu applauded their determination and creativity, urging them to leverage their new skills for personal and societal development.
You all stand today as ambassadors of digital literacy. Women equipped not only to improve their own lives, but also uplift those around them. I am confident that the knowledge gained during this exercise will spark innovation, entrepreneurship, and empowerment in months and years ahead for all of you.
Nigeria's quest to achieve a $1 trillion economy can only be realized with a digitally empowered economy. So, the First Lady craves more digital inclusion for women, herself leading from the front.
Most of us, wives of executives, we don't even have the training all these girls have. So you are going to organize one for us. We have to create 10 days in the new year. So anyone who is interested that want more computer literacy, let us know in the Abuja sector though.
The future is the gig economy, says Director General of NITIDA, Kashifu Abdullahi, as he reiterates the agency's commitment to sustained human capital development through collaborations and promotion of digital literacy in schools.
To use this tool as your gateway to the world. We also want you to pass the knowledge you've earned to 2-3 women in your community.
Believing in us women and creating a platform for us to grow.
We are giving you our weights that we will go back and empower millions of women.
From the initial 35 beneficiaries in 2023, RHI NITIDA collaboration has so far empowered 607 women with ICT skills, alongside other initiatives, including the provision of ICT community centers across the country. From the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
As the world celebrates children, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says children are not only the leaders of tomorrow, but active participants in shaping today's world. And as such, listening to their voices provides insight into how best to create a safer, more inclusive and nurturing society. In a message to celebrate World Children's Day 2025 with the theme, Listen to Children, My Day, My Rights, she emphasizes the importance of giving children a genuine platform to share their thoughts, experiences and aspirations, and a reminder that respecting children's rights and protecting them are essential for building a fair and compassionate society. She wishes children a happy celebration, highlighting the collective duty of all to protect and empower every Nigerian child, ensuring they grow up with hope, confidence and the freedom to reach their full potential. Meanwhile, investing in a child's health, safety, education and emotional well-being is an investment in the future of Nigeria and the world. This message took center stage at this year's Universal Children's Day organized by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs in partnership with the Save the Children International. Momso Damien Detti was there and now reports.
Every year on November 20, the world marks Universal Children's Day. Born from the adoption of the Declaration of the Rights of the Child in 1959 and the Landmark Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1989, the most widely ratified human rights treaty in history. Children from diverse backgrounds gather to celebrate the day. Yet, behind the laughter poems and playful moments lie serious concerns about their safety, their rights, and their future.
Our hope for this year's Universal Day of the Child is that we are able to put an end to lack of access to quality education, to the insurgency, female genital mutilation, inequality that we have going on in our country, Nigeria.
It is our duty to ensure that children are protected so that they can be safe to learn in their schools without fear of being harassed internally or externally.
It's not just about children on the streets within the Abuja municipal. It's also the children in the IDP camps.
We're looking particularly at rates of child marriage, and we're a great celebration today to show the progress that's been made.
Key voices in child development call for collective action, protection, better opportunities, and sustained commitment.
The issue now is not about domestication, but it's about implementation. And the ministry is determined to ensure that the strategic implementation committee are established at the state and local government level.
For us as a nation, child protection should be at the front burner of what we do.
This year's theme, My Day, My Rights, underscores the importance of giving children a voice, empowering them to speak, be heard, and take part in decisions that shape their lives. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pati, says Nigeria is recording visible progress in its journey towards universal health coverage as federal and state governments continue working together to reform the national health system. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 66th regular session of the National Council on Health in Calabar, Professor Pati highlighted this year's theme, My Health, My Right, accelerating universal health coverage through equity, resilience and innovation, as a renewed commitment to improving access to quality health care for all Nigerians.
There is progress that is being felt by Nigerians for the work that we have done collectively with you. At the joint annual review last week, we noticed that in fact 17% reduction in maternal mortality in Mami local government. At least we're changing the trajectory. Neonatal mortality beginning to improve, access improving, quality remaining high, the confidence of Nigerians in the health sector going up. That is precisely why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in fact, unveiled his health sector renewal investment initiative in December 2023, so that we do precisely that under his leadership.
This gathering serves as a powerful
reminder of the responsibility we collectively bear towards the health and well-being of Nigeria.
The minister noted that this year's session marks a 2-year milestone, with Nigerians now beginning to feel the impact of those collective efforts. Kano State government has recruited 400 mathematics teachers for secondary schools. At a ceremony, Governor Abba Yusuf presented appointment letters to the newly teachers and also unveiled 1,600 security guards engaged to help ensure a safe learning environment for students. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
These young graduates trained in mathematics are now prepared to pass on their knowledge to others. The 400 newly recruited teachers are expected to strengthen the teaching of mathematics in secondary schools, equipping students with the skills they need to qualify for admission into tertiary institutions. The initiative is also aimed at reducing the widespread fear of the subject among many students. Alongside the appointment letters issued to the new mathematics teachers, security personnel were also formally engaged to enhance safety across schools. Governor Abba Yusuf urged all the recruits to perform their duties with dedication and sincerity.
Performance will directly impact the quality of education in Kano State. I expect you to justify the confidence the government has placed on you at this time.
Stakeholders in the education sector welcome the development, expressing optimism that it will yield the desired results. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Still on education, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has attended a bilateral meeting with his counterpart in the Republic of Singapore, Desmond Lee, as part of his official engagements in Singapore. Their discussions reaffirmed the strong and long-standing relationship between both countries, with focus on enhancing cooperation in technical and vocational education and training, TVET, where Nigeria has undertaken significant reforms. Building on these, both ministers agreed to pursue a new framework that will extend collaboration beyond TVET into broader areas of education and skills development critical to both nations' future. Following this meeting, Dr. Alausa visited Singapore's Institute of Technical Education, the ITE West and Central Colleges, exploring their aeronautics, engineering, hospitality and advanced technical training facilities, providing valuable insights into Singapore's approach to delivering high-quality, industry-aligned vocational and technical education. The minister also advanced discussions on the intended revision of the MOU between ITES and Nigeria's National Board for Technical Education, NBTE. The proposed partnership includes support for quality assurance across 3 Nigerian colleges, strengthening of the Global Excellence for Skills Education and Training (GEMSET) initiative, introduction of a 3-year artificial intelligence applications program, leadership development for heads of institutions, and the expansion of the train-the-trainer programs in priority TVET areas. The minister notes that the ongoing engagements in Singapore have been highly productive and are expected to lead to improved program quality and enhanced infrastructure across Nigeria's TVET ecosystem. The Federal Ministry of Education, he says, remains committed to equipping its citizens with the skills and competence required to meet the demands of today's workforce. We'll take another break. We'll be right back.
Of money.
Welcome back. Now, whenever government makes financial projection, the citizens wait in anticipation of execution. Emmanuel Akila reports on the expectations of the people of Gombe State on the 2026 budget to tune of over 500 billion naira, which the governor presented to the State House of Assembly.
It's a quantum amount of money. If we could make water available, especially to these areas, all these other areas where there is no water, it will help the citizens.
The revenue generation is there in the state. They are doing well, and there is accountability. We see it reflecting on the roads on ground. We see it reflecting on hospitals. We see it reflecting on schools.
We want government to buy a lot of fertilizer, share to citizens of Gombe State.
The people of Gombe State expressing their expectations on the budget estimate for the coming year. What they are waiting to see, they say, is how economic planners would come up with strategies to raise funds and meticulously apply the state resources to implement the planned projects. The Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, in a breakdown of the financial projection, reiterates the role of internally generated revenue in financing the budget.
What are those things that we think will go ahead projection that will improve the revenue to the IGR? In the first instance, he decided to establish the industrial park. Why? For two reasons. Number one is to get the revenue that the investor will come and invest. By investing, we'll get the revenue. We'll get industries coming so far, and there are 6 companies that have come and established, and they are providing services, and we are getting revenue from them. Secondly, is employment for the youth.
The 2026 budget is undergoing legislative scrutiny in the State House of Assembly. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
And for more figures and numbers, let's bring in Benny Adams for Business News. Benny.
Thank you, Jumai. Nigeria's livestock industry is valued at approximately 30 trillion naira and contributes more than 5% to the GDP of the country. Professor Ari Meikano, an animal nutrition and management expert at the Nasarawa State University, says with adequate data, more incentives, and increased private sector investment, the industry has the potential of guaranteeing Nigeria's food security drive.
The sector has $1 trillion opportunity within and outside. You are looking at a population of 200 million people. Nigeria remains the end markets for all of the West African and Sub-Saharan region of their products. So if we have an organized livestock industry, you can imagine how much of revenues that can be generated from it. You can also look at the ability to be able to indigenize our local animals because of their normal genetically endowed potentials that is in global demand.
Now from that livestock market, let's look at the stock market in Nigeria, where African equities traded a mixed bag this Thursday, reflecting contrasting investor sentiment driven by local economic nuances. The Nigerian exchange, as you can see in those numbers, saw its 4th consecutive bearish session as profit-taking continued to persist, particularly among large-cap stocks, while the markets in South Africa and Tunisia demonstrated varying degrees of resilience, or call it consolidation. For South African market, you can see the numbers. It reflected a tight tussle between global commodity prices as well as domestic economic concerns, with the mixed performance midweek. Tunisia's market is poised for continued moderate growth driven by improving corporate fundamentals and an effort to enhance regional integration. That is it, and business, as we hope for better numbers tomorrow before the weekend. Jumai?
Thank you so much, Benny, for the business news. Now, one of the world's leading youth development frameworks, the Duke of Edinburgh International Award, is empowering young people between the ages of 14 and 24 to build confidence, resilience, leadership, and practical life skills. Awol Yusuf Jibo reports that from Lagos, nearly 200 young people and award leaders from over 50 countries gathered for the Triennial Forum.
Many young people strive to discover purpose and build the confidence needed to grow. For some Nigerian youths, that path starts with the Duke of Edinburgh's International Awards, a program dedicated to empowering and shaping young leaders through skills training and non-formal education. His Royal Majesty Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, formally declared the Lagos Forum open, setting the stage for this year's discussions and activities. The award has continued to expand through schools, youth organizations and community groups, offering young people opportunities to volunteer, develop skills, stay physically active and participate in team expeditions, also known as the Adventurer's Journey.
What we do is to guide and inspire young people to set and overcome challenges and to learn to achieve.
By about 25 years' time, 25% of the world's working population will be drawn from Africa. So you have to have people properly nourished.
Badegeshi Abdurrahman, a Silver Award recipient, says he used to be timid, but since joining the program, he describes himself as a young man now brimming with confidence.
I have also given up on this journey, but with motivations and the reward of participating made me come back again and continue my journey. Established in 1956, the award operates in more than 120 countries and has recorded a global social value exceeding £1 billion. In Lagos, Awol Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Nigeria is undergoing a wonderfully transformative phase in the modernization of the railway infrastructure as it expands and upgrades the rail networks from standard gauge lines to metropolitan transit systems. Ambassador Ninikanwa Okeuche, Embassy of Nigeria in China, stated this at the opening ceremony of the International Seminar on Rail Transit Intelligent Control System for Nigeria, hosted by China Railway Signal and Communication International, Beijing, China. While commending China's unwavering commitment to Nigeria's transport development, Okeuche said the workshop represents a strategic investment in Nigeria's future, defined by innovation, connectivity, human capacity, and mutual cooperation. She said the foundation was laid during the visit of Nigeria's Minister of Transportation to China Railway Signal and Communication International last year, leading to a robust and forward-looking partnership. The efforts culminated in the signing of the tripartite cooperation agreement in August between CRSCI, the Federal Ministry of Transportation, and the Federal University of Transportation, Daura. The ambassador urged participants, including Vice-Chancellor of Federal University of Transportation, Daura, Professor Umar Adam Kasaya, to build strong networks, learn from its counterparts, and improve the program with a spirit of excellence, vision for advancing rail transit technology. Chairman, China Railway Signal, a communication corporation, Mr. Zhang Jinfang, said the participation in the seminar reflects the shared vision of both countries. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And there's so much happening in the world of sports, and Francisca is here to tell us all about it. Francisca?
Hello, Jumai. Welcome to Sports Update. Now, the event draws to a close. Nigeria added more medals in women's freestyle wrestling on Thursday as Kolawole won gold in the 62 kg category, while Damola Ojo took silver in the 76 kg division, lifting Nigeria's overall tally to 29 medals, 10 gold, 12 silver and 7 bronze. Kolawole defeated Azerbaijan's Ruzana Mamadova 6-4 in the 62 kg final. Ojo was beaten 11-1 by Kyrgyzstan's Iperi Kezi in the 76 kg final. Nigeria's wrestlers ended their campaign with 4 medals at the Games, this time with 2 gold and 2 silver, complementing earlier gold won by Christiana Ogunsoya in 53 kg and silver won by Mercy Genesis in 50 kg. To football, Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL have ordered Katsina United to play their remaining home matches for this season in Ilorin. The club had previously been banished to the new Just Stadium after crowd trouble at the home match against Barrow FC. NPFL, in a later address to the club on Thursday, stated that the Rashidi Stadium in Ilorin will henceforth serve as their home ground. Katsina United are set to host Eyimba in a matchday 14 game this weekend and currently sit 13th with 17 points. Elsewhere, 4-time World Cup winners Italy will face Northern Ireland in the semi-finals of the European playoffs for the 2026 World Cup tournament, while Ukraine meets Sweden. Italy will take on Northern Ireland on March 26 next year at an Italian venue that is yet to be confirmed after Thursday's Zurich draw. The visitors will proceed to the final for a World Cup spot, with the Wales Rhodes winner hosting the final, while the Republic of Ireland will travel to the Czech Republic with a possible home final against Denmark or North Macedonia. The semi-finals are on March 26 and the finals on March 31, with all ties played as single-leg matches. 16 teams are competing for 4 berths in the tournament to be staged in the United States, Canada and Mexico. 12 teams qualified by finishing runner-up in their World Cup qualifying groups, while 4 teams, including Northern Ireland, qualified by winning their Nations League group. But that's it on Sport. It's back to Jumai.
Thank you, Francisca, for Sports Update. President Bola Tinubu congratulates former President Goodluck Jonathan on his 68th birthday. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, notes the simplicity and humility that define Dr. Jonathan's style of leadership, particularly his demonstration of statesmanship during the 2015 presidential election. The President praised for the well-being of the former President, his wife, Patience, and the rest of his family. The family of late Chief Alfred Modi Ojubi Alo of Ubulu Uku Kingdom, Aniocha South Local Government Area of Delta State, has announced the passing of Madam Patience Ilolo Modi Ojubi, who died at 86. A statement by the family says burial arrangements include vigil mass to hold on Thursday, 27 November at St. Charles Catholic Church, Ubulu Uku, Aniocha South Local Government Area of Delta State by 5 p.m. A requiem mass will hold on Friday, 28 November at St. Charles Catholic Church, Ubulu Uku by 11 a.m. Rites of passage holds on Saturday, 29 November at Modi Ojubi Compound, Aniocha Okwe Quarters. And now to our survey results. We asked you in today's survey, how can the Safe School initiative be improved to protect schools from attacks and abductions? 41.2% say development of special vigilante and security to protect schools will do the magic. 30.7% chose fortifying security at high-risk schools with fencing, CCTV, and alarms. 14.8% voted for the location of high-risk schools, while 13% say inclusion of traditional leaders and communities on school safety would help stem the tide. You can keep voting, on our handles on the social media so that we can have your say. And that's Network News for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Jumma Yusuf. Do have a wonderful night.